gathered. The flint is struck. The blaze bursts forth. Fuel is added until the flame turns into a white heat. The iron is drawn, a blaze incarnated with fire. Deliberately, the rod is applied to the quivering, waiting flesh. The smoke and the smell of the torture ascends and fills the air. Branded, not on the hide of a beast, but the heart of a man. Branded by the hand of God himself. Not on the outward flesh, but on the tender, delicate, sensitive throne of man's affections, his heart. Branded with the sign of the cross, the symbol of God's excruciating suffering for man's sin. The cross, the place where God keeps open house for the universe. Branded forever, this cowboy who cares for the souls of men. The early morning sky is still black with night, but the day has already begun for the boys in the Wrangler roost. Silently, the well-worn boots are pulled on. And then, the final touch. The equally worn hat is slouched into place over eyes still full of sleep. It's time to bring the horses in for the day's activities. Fortunately, the horses at River Valley Ranch are well trained. With a repeated, lusty, "Come on!" between funneled hands, the horses start from everywhere in the pasture for the home corral and a good measure of grain. By the time the horses have been fed and saddled, a group of excited riders have gathered on the corral fence, anxious to get started out for a new day at River Valley Ranch. River Valley Ranch is situated in a valley paradise, wild, rugged, breathtakingly beautiful. 500 acres of it in north central Maryland. One wonders if he has not driven onto a Hollywood movie set as he enters the little authentic western town, comprised of 20 rustic old-time buildings where scenes and sounds are the same today as they were 100 years ago. In this totally Western atmosphere, young people from all walks of life, 7 through 17 years of age, may come for a summer vacation with spiritual values. No gimmicks, no strings, just plain Bible relevant for today's need. The ranch boasts of some 60 well-bred horses, Arab, quarter horse, and Appaloosa, bred, born, and broke on the ranch. It's the job of the cowboy to care for them, as well as trail ride with hundreds of young people, most of them inexperienced, day after day, whether hot and dusty or damp and muddy. A challenging job. Besides the pleasures of the Old West, many other fun activities and competitive games are included in the program. Cookouts, singing, and sharing around a campfire are souvenirs that each camper takes away with him, tucked in the treasure box of his memory. River Valley Ranch isn't just for teens. An entire junior ranch with its own facilities is operated at the same time. One of the special events is the Chuck Wagon Breakfast. It's pure pleasure, this early morning ride through dew-drenched glen and wooded trail and gently singing streams, with the feel of a good horse beneath you and the thrill of his obedience to your every touch. Then, on top of the rise, one can see the smoke from the breakfast fire, and as the riders descend the final valley and climb the other side, the old chuck wagon with the cooks and helpers come into full view. Saturday on the ranch is spelled with two words, hard work. This is the day of all days to try the patience of the cowboy. With visitors welcome to ride the trails, the daily problems are magnified. Meanwhile, the arena must be ready for the 3 o'clock rodeo. People from many miles around drive in to enjoy this special free show. People have declared it the most interesting show around. Exhausting, say the cowboys, but it's the highlight of the week for us. Totally spent, hot and sweated, too exhausted to eat supper, the boys find a way to cool off. But quickly, youth revives, and after a swim and a shower, our hard-hitting wrangler is dressed and ready for the Saturday night Singing Pioneers concert. Brief week in the life of a dedicated cowboy. Next Monday, it starts all over again. But he would not have it otherwise. He prays, Lord, don't ever let me forget that sweet hurt of your brand upon my heart. Keep it fresh and tender and sensitive. Help me to know the value of everyday service, that you care about every teen and junior who climbs up into the saddle, whose stirrup I must adjust. All too soon, the long hot summer is over, and it's time to move on. Dave and Don to the Navy, and the others to their separate colleges. A sad and silent farewell to your favorite horse, who carried you many, many miles, helped you to win contests at the rodeo, and in his own way, showed you his devotion. It's been a good summer, a satisfaction and a fulfillment for the cowboy. Much has been accomplished in the hearts and lives of hundreds of young folk for eternity. Campers who rode the trails with a cowboy who was different, a cowboy who wears the brand of the cross, a cowboy who cares for the souls of men.